Welcome and congrats! You have found the MMAC Minute Podcast, where Shar, RN and owner, and Mallory, NP and Medical Director of Montana Medical Aesthetics Clinic, hence the MMAC, take a little dive into the world of aesthetics. Join us as we discuss hot topics and timeless truths. We will be your guides to navigating your own aesthetic journey. Hello everyone, welcome to the MMAC Minute with Shar and Mallory. Today we have our special guest Sammy joining us. If you know her, then you already love her. If you don't know her yet, it's time. It's beyond time. She's wonderful. So today we are talking about rosacea. And so, we thought we'd bring you a little bit of information about that.
So why are we talking about rosacea in April? Because it's Rosacea Awareness Month. How convenient. Ooh. And it's also one of our monthly specials this month. So what is rosacea? So rosacea is a chronic progressive skin condition, and it's characterized by red flushing. There can be acne rosacea, little white pustules that look like acne, but they're actually fungal in origin. Mm. You can start to lay down extra skin cells, particularly on your nose, and it's a condition called rhinophyma, also across your cheeks. And those kind of look like, enlarged pores and thicker skin. Also, it can progress and into your eyes and become ocular rosacea, characterized by really burning, stinging eyes, red bloodshot eyes, really quite painful from, people that have had it have told me it's really quite painful.
Uncomfortable.
And again, it's progressive. It's a disease of the skin that can never be cured. We can effectively treat it by a variety of ways and maintain your skin in a healthy state. But it's good to have it recognized, diagnosed, and get on to treatment.
Yeah, the earlier the better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we get into how do we treat rosacea? So we have a really great protocol. We have our Rosacea BBL. So BBL stands for Broadband Light. Many people are familiar with our Forever Young BBL, and we have a specific, more targeted approach for rosacea. That's going to include the first portion is it's broken up into basically two portions. So the first part is a 1064 laser, also known as the Rejuvelase. And that's like a little staticky kind of thing. It's like, oh yeah, okay, that gets a little bit warm. It feels like a little bit like static on your skin. Yeah. It's tolerable.
It's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, we're easing you in. And then there's the 560 wavelength of our BBL, the Broadband Light. And so that is going to target the layer of the skin, like the depth where we know the redness resides. So it's not as much to target the browns like we do with the Forever Young BBL. It is specifically for the reds that are characteristic of that flushing with the rosacea. And, it's unfortunate that we say this, but it's a good description that we kind of have to beat up rosacea with that BBL. So not that we enjoy torturing anybody, but it's I've had so many people say, and we did a couple today. I did a couple today, actually. And it's just like, it's like having a baby. You just you get through it and you're just like, man, wow, that was a little bit rough. I'm not sure that I want to do that again. And then you see the results and you're like, oh, this is so great. I love it so much. I'm going to cry. It's so beautiful.
When can I do it again?
How soon can I do this again? And then you get in it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember why I didn't want to do this again. And then the results are even better. And you're like, oh my God, that's even more beautiful. So, it's just one of those processes we get through for the results, and it's always worth it. So otherwise, we wouldn't do it to you. So yeah, that's kind of the Rosacea BBL portion of the treatment. Anything you want to add to that? Okay. And we do recommend that you are going to need like a series of those. Most people with rosacea, we can't get it all in one treatment, nor probably would you want us to try. And so we recommend a series. You're going to want to do those about 5 or 6 weeks apart. It may be 3 or 4 that we're talking about. In some cases, we will need it a little bit more. It depends a little bit on the things that you're doing with that to manage. If you're doing combination therapy with prescriptions, if you're able to avoid a lot of triggers, that also helps. So I want to point that out.
Yeah, and so, like you said, triggers. So what are triggers? Triggers are those things that contribute to... I have a problem with the mic.
Spend all that time putting that on your head.
I know. I got my own little microphone holder and then I don't even use it. But triggers are those things that aggravate the rosacea condition that make it flare. We kind of talk about that, and that's just that red flaring. A lot of people over the years have really associated rosacea flaring with alcohol consumption and spicy foods. And many people say, I don't drink. I'm like, we believe you.
Okay.
And because really only 52 and 49% of people are even affected by spicy foods or alcohol consumption. The top 5 triggers are hot weather, heavy exercise, emotional stress, wind, and I'm forgetting one.
Did you say UV exposure?
Sun exposure. There you go.
It's like I was
Yep.
reading what
Yep.
you were wanting.
And so like right here, in dry, hot, sun exposed Montana, it's really hard to avoid those triggers. But the more that you can control your exposure to triggers, avoid them and control them as much as possible, the more easily maintained your rosacea will be. Things that we do use very effectively with laser treatments are skincare products.
So we'll hand it over to Sammy on that one.
So we have an entire line. Many people know about it. It's Vital C line, and many people love it. It is specifically for redness, dryness, rosacea, dehydrated skin. A lot of the products are across the board have the same ingredients in them. So what makes them so good for rosacea is that they're super hydrating, non-irritating. They have aloe, they have antioxidants in them across the board for that environmental factor. If there's stressors in the environment that are contributing to your rosacea. Specifically in this, there's a product or an ingredient called soapwort, and it's an anti-inflammatory.
That sounds so weird.
There was another name for it, but I thought soapwort sounded better.
That
than
stands out in my
soapweed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the other name, soapweed.
Funny.
But anyway, soapwort's an anti-inflammatory and it's soothing. This one's super great because it's creamy. You can wash it off with water, but if you're super inflamed, you can just actually tissue it off.
That's a good
to
point.
be really gentle on the skin. And I grabbed this one too, Intense Hydrating. This one has shea butter in it, so this one's also super soothing. And kind of creates a little bit of a barrier on the skin if you're having like a really inflamed rosacea reaction, or you're just someone that's super duper dry. These are my 2 top favorites. Of course, we have Ulta sunscreen. That's called UV Clear. It has the niacinamide in it, which is also very calming and soothing, great for rosacea or just acne-prone skin in general. Oh my gosh.
Ow.
Throwing stuff.
Ow. You guys saw it.
Just kidding. Facial wise, we take things pretty gentle. There's probably not going to be a lot of heat or super hot towels. Just a really basic hydrating facial with very little manipulation, especially if you're having a lot of triggers or sensitivity right now.
And if you kind of are in the middle of a flare, a nice, cool, soothing, like a hydration facial could really kind of calm things down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Even like sometimes when people are really, really in the middle of a flare, they're almost too sensitive to tolerate as easily the BBL and where maybe having something calming with Sammy first to calm it, and then within a couple days or a week or so, then you'll tolerate the laser so much more easily.
Good point.
So, and is there anything else that we want to do with skincare?
Just take it easy, honestly. Unless you're having the acne, then a benzyl is good for that, a benzyl peroxide. But less is more in this case.
And then besides just like the sunscreen, the liquid sunscreen, powders are good too, right?
What do you mean?
The color science.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because those are gonna help with the redness.
Yeah, they'll mask it a little bit, right? The other thing with some sunscreens, the Ulta she said has the niacinamide, which calms things down. But the other thing is typically like typical lotion sunscreens, you have to apply them 20 to 30 minutes before you're going out in the sun. That is because they need to have a reaction to form the barrier on your skin. That reaction is a heat-based reaction, and we know heat causes rosacea to flare. So that's where the powdered sunscreens really shine also, is they're an immediate coverage and they're not a heat-based not a heat-based thing. So what else kind of, besides triggers and stuff, we know that other things, we don't really know what causes rosacea, but we have some theories, right? I mean, one of them is that there's a particular skin mite called Demodex that we know thrives on the skin of people who have rosacea. And this particular skin mite likes to live in temperatures that are 1 to 2 degrees warmer than other skin mites live. So we know people with rosacea, their skin is 1 to 2 degrees warmer than people without rosacea. Then it kind of becomes a chicken and the egg thing. It's like, well, did the warmer skin draw the skin mite there, or did the skin mite, happen to affect somebody and then cause the skin to be warmer? We don't know. And then with the skin mite, that's where some other topical prescription treatments are really effective.
Yeah, so I'll talk about that. So we have a really great prescription that partners, again, really well with our other treatment options, such as the BBL, such as facials. And that we call our rosacea triple gel because, watch this, there's 3 main ingredients that are fabulous.
Boom.
One is going to be metronidazole. So if you've ever used Metrogel for rosacea, it's commonly used for that. We also have ivermectin, anti-infective, anti-inflammatory factors there, and then the niacinamide, which we talked about being calming, soothing, antioxidant, and that combination tends to work really, really well. So I have had people start with that prescription first before we start with the BBLs, which is totally fine to do, but it's crazy how much of a difference it makes when you're combining. I mean,
unbelievable.
Life-changing is the way I'll put it. So that triple gel, super fabulous. And I've had multiple people say, the BBL, it's definitely something we get through, like we talked about, but it can be life-changing. I've had people say, like, I could not ever imagine having clearer skin. And a lot of people try to cover up, mask it with a lot of makeup. And they'll say after they've done some BBLs, they're like, I never thought I could go without having a lot of makeup on my face, or I can just wear my tinted SPF and go now. I don't have to sit there and like cake on a bunch of products or anything because my skin looks so much better and so much healthier and so much clearer. And that's like, okay, that's why we do this. That's why we do this.
So some other theories with what causes rosacea is there's an idea that, and a really, predominant idea right now, that it originates in the gut. So we do recommend a prebiotic and a probiotic for people. That's been showing real promise for people. There can be a very significant familial tendency to rosacea. So if, your family members have it, your parents, your siblings, aunts, whatever, it could be really more likely that you would have it or develop it yourself. We don't see any age correlation. It can happen at any point in time in your life. And effective treatment is great at whatever stage you're in. One of the fun little things that is new that, it's not that new, a couple years ago, they found that people who have rosacea and drink hot black coffee have shown improvements consistently day after day, show improvements in their day-to-day maintenance of rosacea. And it's 3 8-ounce cups of coffee, black and hot. Tea doesn't work. Lattes don't work. And the most important thing, again, is a skin disease. It cannot be cured. It can be treated and effectively maintained by a number of different modalities. So if you might be affected by rosacea, and if it's something we could help you treat, please give us a call. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our station, and comment below, please. We'd appreciate hearing from you.
Thank you.